So we are ready to do a first flight video with the DJI Mini 3 Pro, including the smart controller. Yesterday I made an attempt just after I picked up the unit after a press event at Drone DK. I tried to go out and perform a first flight. But it was raining cats and dogs, so that was kind of both irresponsible but also a little bit impossible to make that work. On top of that, I got a major new firmware update that introduces all the new great features of this drone that I had to install as well. The drone came with the controller partly charged, but there was no charge on the drone battery, so I had to kind of fiddle my way through using a power bank. So all of that did not end up very well. So I decided to just sneak down here on the parking lot and do a first flight video for you guys, showing you the drone. It's not my first flight because I actually tried to fly the drone during the event inside Copenhagen, so I kind of know how it flies, and it behaves and flies exactly like you would expect from a DJI drone. And with this controller, we do have the opportunity to start a screen recording. Just pull down the screen here and then I tap this. Yes. So now you can see that there's a counter in the bottom of the screen that indicates that the screen recorder is running. So that is super nice. So let's get this stuff here a little bit out of the way and get the drone airborne. And now we are getting all sorts of check complete, Yes, we have done all that stuff. And the drone is put in normal mode as it is right now. So. So the first thing that I want to talk about is how quiet it actually is. It doesn't make much of a sound. So once it's up in the air, of course you can still hear it, but it's not this aggressive sound that you had with some of the other drones in the past. Especially I remember the Mavic Air. That was in this exact location. I had a lady coming from down there yelling at me why I had to fly my drone, sounding like a swarm of bees around when she was sitting outside sipping rosé wine or whatever she was doing. Okay, I fully understand that people get annoyed with this, especially if the sound is very high pitched. So it's a very, very pleasant experience putting this one in the air. And as you can see, the screen here is super nice and it's super bright. It is supposed to not be as bright as the RC Pro, which is 1000 nits. This one is 700 nits, which is equal to, I think, maybe iPhone 12 Pro Max. But this one does not, hopefully, overheat and dim down like my 12 Pro Max does. This is one of the main issues that I have with this drone. Not with this drone, but this phone, is that it's dimming down when it's getting a little bit hot outside and I can't barely see what's going on the screen. So I hope this one mitigates that problem. So this is the area where I live here. Very, very beautiful. So we can just fly it around a little bit here. Just do a little point of interest here. And the sticks are a little bit twitchy per default. But I would expect we can do a separate video about that, where we kind of trim those settings to make it really, really nice. So here, and I can move the exposure on the screen here to different areas. So look at this. I can also say that I actually want to lock it. So I just long press it so I get this lock that locks the exposure to a specific position. So that is super nice. So let's just check here so I can show you the firmware that we are running right now. So it's the Mini 3 Pro and the aircraft firmware is 010014. And the fly app is 160. Let's just fly over here a little bit so we can see the castle. Beautiful Frederiksborg Castle. And then now we have dedicated buttons to sort of tilting the gimbal with this one, and then we can use the zoom level. So we have the zoom level available just at your fingertips. Look at this. How nice is that? So right now we are recording 4K 30. So if I take the chance, not to put it to, so if I put it down to 1080p, I would assume that I can extend the zoom even further. Let's zoom, 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 zoom. Yes, up to 4 times. Let me just record it so you can see what it looks like on the screen. Not on this screen, but on your computer screen or phone screen. So, smooth in and out. That would give us some options to do some dolly zooms or stuff like that. And what I just did there was I pressed this button, and that will tilt the gimbal up and down. Very, very easy. What does the other one do? The other one does not do anything, so I would expect we can program that as well with the other features. So let's just do a reference clip here for you, so you have something to look at. Of course, we don't want to do that in the lower resolution, so we bump that up to 60 FPS, 4K, full shebang, the best the drone can do. And we can put this castle over here, maybe. We need something to guide our composition, and we normally do that under, let's just see here. We normally do that under camera here, so there should be some lines here. Let's just get those lines here, so we can put the castle in the rule of third. Yeah, like that. That's not very good. Let's fly it over here. Whoa. Some small gimbal loving. What's going on there? So, I do the 5 seconds of reference video here that you can get to play around with. Like that. Let's see if there's anything else that we need to provide while we are here. There's overexposure warnings. I always like those. You don't like those when we use those inside the video. Yeah. So there's this D-Cine-like format. Let's just record 5 seconds of that. And then swap it back to normal mode. And one of the really cool features about this is I can actually turn the camera. So look at, I can do like a really, really nice video here, vertical format. So it's this Renaissance garden here. And as you saw, I just tapped the screen to make the camera switch. This is something we haven't seen since the original Mavic Pro. That had that feature, which many have forgot, but it's really nice that it's back with all the short form formats that are currently being... okay, maybe you shouldn't have 22 seconds of that 4K 60. So we just do 5 seconds here. And I will make all these clips available through the Tech Drone Media website, so you can watch them at your own convenience at your computer. Okay, and the brightness of the screen here is turned to 100%, so that's also not an issue. Let's swip it into photo mode. And let's just do a few here. And I have put it down here so it can do both JPEG and RAW. And I will make both versions available so you can play around with those. Maybe we should change the motive here, just for the fun of it. So we put it here. So you're getting one image, a single image. Then we are doing a 48 megapixel one. And I'm just using the stock settings, so you can sort of see how those look directly out of camera. Then there's the exposure bracketing, and we are taking 3 images, one that is neutral exposure, one that is overexposed, and one that's underexposed. And as you're getting JPEG and RAW, you're getting 6 images in total. So, and I don't want to do burst, and I don't want to do time shots. Burst is just firing a series of shots in a row, which can be very useful, but not for this test. And with the new firmware update, we got access to all the new crazy stuff of this drone. You can see here there's hyperlapse, there's panos, there's quick shots, MasterShots, and we also got access to... Ooh, what is that? Maybe I put it in FPV mode or something. Yeah, let's just see what we did here. This doesn't... so control, FPV mode, yes. This was why the camera was basically, or the gimbal was tilting when I was flying around. It's because it was put in FPV mode. This is just a manual orbit or manual point of interest. It's always nice to be able to do that. Really, really nice. Basic skills that you need to do. Very, very easy. But it requires a little bit of muscle memory to do it. So one of the things that we got here with the new firmware update was the tracking capabilities. Maybe it will be challenged because I have all these obstacles in the back. But basically, I should be able to highlight myself here. Focus track is not supported in this shooting mode. Yes, so we can't do this in 60 FPS. So let's just crank it down to 30. See if it do better there. Yeah. Get an instruction here. Yeah. Close, go away. So, close, go away. So now, it's actually tracking me. So if I walk in this direction, the drone will track me. And of course we can put this to the test. And we have the 3 options down here, like we normally have. But the spotlight mode, that will simply just allow me to fly the drone around. And it will keep me in focus. Maybe we should just record some video, just for the fun of it. So even regardless what I do, it will keep me in focus. Which is very, very nice. Probably make it lose me as well. So. How nice is that? That's super, super nice. We kind of know that. And then we have another variant of it. And that's the point of interest. And we just want to make sure that we don't collide with anything here. So point of interest, and we can ask it to circle around me here. Subject too far. We need to go closer here. So I'll just put myself in an easier position here. So let's try it again, see if we can make it do it. So now it's circling nicely around me. And I hope we are not colliding with anything here. This parking lot is so brilliant because I can just go down here and have fun. Let's see what happens if I move this. Can I actually adjust this? Yes, I can. So I'm getting in the center of the frame instead of being in the bottom. I don't know if you can see the screen here, but I can very clearly see the screen. Just turn myself around. It is very glary as it is right now. You can see it's very glary in the sun. That might cause some problems. Maybe one should find some film to put on. And we are down to half battery. And looking at the screen recorder, we have been flying around for 13 minutes and almost 14 minutes. So 34 minutes, we will not get there today. I am pretty sure about that already. See what happens if I walk over here. See if I hopefully not crash it. So. There's always a certain confidence when you're using a DJI drone. It just does what it does. But do be aware that when it's doing stuff like this, there are no side sensors that will protect the drone. So if there is something like you see here on the ground and you fly too low, it will collide. So, it even managed to keep track of me while it's going behind these obstacles. Okay, so that's super cool. So let's stop that one. We can always dive into this and do more videos exploring these flight modes when we get to that point. So let's try the other alternative here. That is trace. And for that purpose, I actually think I will use the car like that. Put the controller down here. So let's see if it follows. I wouldn't expect it to follow. So right now it's just doing spotlight. So let's just put it up in a height where it doesn't do any harm, and then switch it to active track. Go, trace, like that. So, I don't want to get too close to the trees down there. See what it's doing. It's racing me, chasing me. I think it is. Yeah. I need to put a seatbelt on. So let's not get too close to the trees in the back here. So let's just try and challenge it a little bit here. And then we can try another test, which is the parallel track, which is always nice. And we can do that. So we put the drone here. So right now we say stop. And I only have one battery with this drone, so that's kind of annoying, because that puts certain limitations to what we can do. So I'll just fly it on the side here, like this, and then I make sure that it has a certain height. So, active track, parallel, go. So now it's in parallel position. So let's just see, is it? Yes, it is. So let's see. Yeah, it kind of look nice. Let's just turn around the car here, see what's going on here. So, see if it can figure that part out. Still stay parallel. So, it positions itself, and I just adjust the gimbal here a little bit, like this. Guys, this is real life testing. Not 5 weeks in advance, having a chance to play around with this for a long time. So this is putting stuff to the test. Look at this, this is actually nice. Very, very nice. And what happens if I go over here? Can it do parallel still? So we can do more extensive tests with this feature when we are getting a little bit further down the line. But this is a quite nice demonstration, I think. I should not write into the camera. I put the camera here. So, let's get out. So I stop it here, take it out of this mode by hitting the cross here. So if I just show you here, so that could probably have caused the drone to crash if I had continued there. So you still need to be a little bit careful, even though it has a front, rear and bottom obstacle avoidance sensors. You need to be a little bit careful still. And the sound is so pleasant. It is really. So it's a really, really nice kit of features that we are getting with this. So let's just see if we can explore one of the more advanced ones. I think MasterShots, for those of you that haven't had access to that feature, could be very, very nice, just to see if we could execute a single MasterShot sequence. So MasterShots is very, very nice if you have to do something very fast where you don't want to spend time on editing. So I can, yeah, maybe you should just use me. Yeah. Me. We're the me generation. So, subject. And that's one of the problems, because that this one does not have cellular connection. So there is, hey, we can. So with my starting point, I think we can't make it.
3, 2.
Okay, let's give it a go and make sure I see if we can make it complete. The MasterShot sequence, because we are getting a little bit low on battery. So now it's messing around doing, and I have a cramp in my foot. That's why I'm jumping around like a little bit here. So it's combining a series of shots right now. It's just basically recording the raw material, and those can be combined into all sorts of different sequences that are cut down to something that is more digestible for social media. So if you, for instance, have like an Instagram or something like that, you'll be able to do like 20-second clips that is auto-composed through a various selection of templates. So you can get your own look and feel with those templates. So what it's doing right now is just doing the raw recordings. So, cancel. So we are under land. Oh yeah, over land. So I think we should be able to squeeze it. If it's getting down to, I don't know where it's getting down to. It would be a shame if we couldn't complete this part. We still have 5 minutes and 30 seconds recording time left. It really flies nicely. It is super, super nice. So let's just move this camera to the back in this position. It really flies nice. So we managed to complete it. And we are down to 17, and we have been flying right now for 23 minutes and 26 seconds. And it was a full charge when we went here. So now it's completed it. So, see how far we are going to be allowed to mess around with this. It really wants me to go back now. So let's just do a return to home. And
Go home.
so, and as you probably recall, we use this barrel here.
Landing.
We use this as our takeoff position. And I am ready to stop it here anytime if it doesn't land in the right spot. So let's see if it can figure out what it's going to do. It's... Shit! That was getting to the edge, you could kind of say. It took off from this position and it landed here. But it was also not very optimal conditions for doing this. So let's just take a look here. So we didn't get that information, but luckily we've been flying 25-16 and we have been challenging the drone, doing screen recording, all sorts of stuff. So we are at 25 minutes of effective flight time. So that's of course a bit far from what they have promised. We could do like a more real battery test at some point where we are not challenging all the functions, but this is what people do. But this is a super nice kit, no doubt about that, and you will enjoy that tremendously. Is it worth the upgrade over the Mini 2? I don't know. I will make some head-to-head comparisons so you can judge if the camera quality is significantly better with this one. I would expect it is. Also, I will make the footage available for you so you can download it through the Tech Drone Media website so you can do the comparison for yourself. But I would say if you already have a Mini 2 and you're happy about it, maybe you should skip this one at least for a while because the Mini 2 does actually do a pretty good job. If you're more into low light, maybe into flying under more windy conditions,
Point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Yeah, sure, lady. So what I was saying? Okay, so if you are into low light situations, you could take advantage of having this drone. And of course, as always, I've provided a link in the description below if you decide to pick up one for yourself. If you're in Denmark, there's a link to Drone.dk, which has kindly made sure that I could have one of these 15 reserved samples that was whitelisted for the Danish press. So even though a lot of you have bought the drone already, you can't fly it because it's not unlocked. That requires DJI to unlock the drone. And I got one of the samples. I got really lucky and got one of the samples that were unlocked for the purpose. So this is why I can show you what I'm showing you today. Of course, I didn't cover everything extensively with this video, not by any chance. There's so much stuff that you're getting with this drone. But I definitely encourage you to drop your questions in the comments below, as well as I will look through some of the other videos and see if I can compile a list of topics that we can cover with this drone. It's a super nice product. I didn't like it a lot in the beginning, but I really, it's growing on me. And I can see that this can be very useful here, at least for me on the channel, that you will be capable of flying this drone over people inside the city without you having to ask permission. So you're going to be my new best friend. And as I said, this was a review sample, so this will not be my drone eventually. I have to give it back to DJI within 3 weeks or so. But I would definitely go out and buy one myself, that's for sure. So one of the coolest features is this one. So, how cool is that? So this concludes my test flight with the DJI Mini 3 Pro. I will be compiling a lot of videos with this drone over the next coming weeks. So it makes sense to make a playlist that will contain all these videos, and you can access that one through this card. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then feel free to give it a like. If you didn't like it, feel free to press the dislike button twice. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you around.